What is up, guys? Charles from Team COG coming at you guys here with post commentary of my locals live stream. For those who don't know, our locals are every Friday. I sometimes get Fridays off, so I try to go to my locals every chance I can get. And I've been very fortunate to go the past 2 Fridays in a row, and I've recorded table 1. But I kind of thought maybe it'd be interesting to commentate over it because I'm not always around. Like, I'm playing in the tournament, so I don't get to watch the feature match. And sometimes there's misplays. Sometimes there's things going on. Sometimes players come up to me after the feature match and say, hey, I know I goofed here after the fact. Or they're like, hey, I know I did this wrong, but I want to explain my reason why. So it'd be kind of nice to go back over it with a player, go back over it with you guys to see here. But this is like Attack of the Blue Eyes. So we had a very tiny locals, only 4 rounds, and then a player dropped, so it would drop it down to 3. But all 3 rounds there is a Blue Eyes in some form or fashion on the camera. And that's just crazy to think. We were missing, I think, 4, potentially 5. 5 players was absent from our locals. And we have a tinier locals where it's roughly like 15, maybe at max 15. We used to have like a 20-player locals a long time ago, but, times change, priorities, all that stuff. But anyway, please remember, if you guys enjoy this type of content, you guys want to help support the channel, you can do so by checking the links down in the description and check our sponsor, Dueling Guard. Dueling Guard is an awesome TCG accessory promoter. They have like a really cool Elden Ring stuff, which you guys don't know. I'm a huge Dark Souls and Elden Ring fan. Called the Rotten Blade set. But they have more stuff in there, like Avatar: The Last Airbender, all that fine stuff. Go ahead and go down there and check them out. Use the link and get 15% off. I was incorrect when I did my Versus video. I said you got 10% off. But if you use that affiliate link down below, you get 15% off your purchase. And please also hit that join button, get knighted. Help support the channel directly by becoming a YouTube member. And then you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell so you never miss when we go live. And yeah, we'll just go ahead and jump on into round 1, which is conveniently me. I will not go over it too much in detail. If you guys want to see more in detail and a more probably salty version of me, go watch the Versus video because I recorded the Versus video shortly after the locals. And yeah, so we end up winning the die roll here. We're playing Draco Tail versus Blue Eyes. And my hand was Nib, Call by Talents, Cartesia. Terrible. So I pass it over to him. He's going to go through his turn, summoning the Sage Searchin', Maiden. I might be saying this out of order. He plays the normal summon, the very first Maiden, which I don't know if that's correct in Blue Eyes. I very vaguely played it back when it first came out, but I don't think it's seen a lot of play. The card's still kind of crazy in a way, but it's not played pretty well. But he's just committing here. He summons out Blue Eyes. Maiden in White comes out. It's like, on resolution of Maiden in White, I'm going to throw Nib here. Still, Blue Eyes' arch enemy is Nibiru. Definitely, he could have made a Seals there, but he chose not to. And he goes in after a Synchro Rumble here. And I do think I make a minor misplay here. I call by the target for the Rumble. And I kind of like, I want to go ahead and pause here. I don't know if that was correct. Because in my mind, I'm like, he can make Crimson Dragon. But what's he making with Crimson? Like, what's Crimson Dragon coming out to be? You know what I mean? So maybe it was just baking that Maiden. Because I know when that Maiden's targeted for an attack, it can summon a Blue Eyes. So maybe that's what he was trying to do. But I don't know if that was correct or not. I don't think using the call by here would have saved me the following turn. Because, as you'll see here, as he continues on, he sets 3 and passes to me. I attempt to go Rahu off the rip. He goes D-Barrier. This right here, like, my blood pressure raised here and my cholesterol levels shot up real high. Because I don't think D-Barrier is being played in the main deck at all. But that's the glorious thing about locals, is you see all these crazy techs, crazy strategies you can put in here. And if you are playing a mono deck, and what I mean by mono deck is a deck that's, you don't have link plays, you don't like differ off. I'd like to think of a prime example would be like Vanquish Soul Canine, right? Like you can XYZ, but you also can link summon, right? And your entire deck strategy is not reliant on the one summoning mechanic. D-Barrier is terrible against. D-Barrier is not good against Yummy. D-Barrier is not good against, Vanquish Soul Canine. It's not good against Malice. It's not good against, like, a lot of strategies. Like, even arguably, this card against the Ryzel variants exists. Like, Ryzel's being played with other things. So, like, even if you call XYZ on, like, Ryzel, they just pivot into, like, their other stuff anyway. So, but at a local level, when you're playing a mono strategy, which Draco Tail kind of is, like, you can maybe link off once or twice, right? Into Spears and pass. This deck just solos your strategies. And we just get hit by it blindly. Rahu is pretty brutal on the Rahu. That was our draw into engine. Our hand was unplayable prior. But I end up talenting here to draw 2 because he ends up triggering the Maiden. And I rip into some names. I rip into, like, I think I'm a Lulu. And I have a Cartesian hand. So I normal summon Cartesia and pass it over to him. So the cool thing is in my mind, I'm like, I can play during his turn. Like, D-Barrier, as long as another one of those cards ain't a set D-Barrier, I'm golden. I'll just fuse during his turn to get my ball rolling. I won't die, but once Draco Tail's engine starts going, you're pretty good here. So he brings back a Blue Eyes. I was really hoping he'd commit because I have this other nib floating in my hand. I was like, maybe, just maybe he'll get greedy again. Because, you know, what are the chances of me having 2 nibs, right? Very slim. Like, I mean, arguably, anybody would take the chance, you know? But he actually decides not to. He very much so just decides to summon a bunch of Blue Eyes and attack. This token's like 12,000. And right here, I attempt to, before he moves into battle, or before he decides to commit a little bit further, I just try to use Cartesia to fuse. So I was going to go to Arthurion to bounce to negate the Maiden, and then I get to set, but he just has Imperm too. I didn't even calculate the Imperm. I was like, wow, okay. But not only does he have Imperm, I did see when he flipped this card right here up, he also had that Destined Rival, which as long as he controls a Dark Magician or a Blue Eyes, it's a skill drain for everything currently on the field. So he had 2 forms of disruption, which again, I don't think that card is normally played, which it is kind of cool. It's a skill drain. But again, like, you're just, I hate to say it, but you just get, it's still Yu-Gi-Oh, man. You get kind of blasted here. And with that Imperm here, we just gonna go ahead and wrap it up. There's no point in even talking about the tokens. 9,000, it's just gonna whack over my smallest monster, and then 2 Blue Eyes are just gonna plow through everything. So anyway, we get to go first. Again, my hand is very good, and this is exactly what Draco Tail should do. You shouldn't always open, but that's not, my experience with Draco Tail has been so terrible. I open all hand traps, no Draco Tail names. I open Cartesia. Ever since I put Cartesia in, I've opened Cartesia with no Draco Tail names constantly, but except for now, I normally summon Cartesia. Attempt to activate the effect to fuse, and he responds with Ghost Ogre, which is good. I'd rather it be Ghost Ogre. Even if it was Imperm, you'd be okay, because we just pass it over to his turn, and we just wait. But so we end up fusing off Fine Mama and Malulu to go into Arthurion. We go Arthurion effect, target Fine Mama and Malulu to add back, and Malulu will be able to set, and same with Fine Mama will be able to set. So we get to set 2, but I can't remember what I end up setting. Yeah, I think this is like the full Draco Tail. Yeah, because I think I have Rahu in hand too. So yeah, I set both Flame and Horn. Horn was in my hand 3 games out of the entire, like, 6 that I was able to play, because I got a round 2 bye. 6 games. Or not 6 games. 3 out of the 6 games I played, Rahu, or Horn was there. Not Flame, but Horn. But we activate Rahu, fusing off the Fine Mama in hand that we added back. We go ahead and send the Urgula, and we go ahead and summon out our Gulamel. Gulamel, of course, and then we use the Urgula, and then Urgula will be able to set. We set a Ketu for follow-up. Urgula will bounce back we'll super turn to the bottom, we bounce back to Fine Mama, we pass turn. So right now, we're setting with a pretty decent hand. Like, we have a Gulamel pop, we have a Spell and Trap negate, or not Spell and Trap, just a Spell negate, we have a Monster bounce, we have the Fine Mama in hand to go into Secretarian, which would be a very good card in this matchup. And before I even commit to it, I think we don't get to see that too much, but we see a normal summon of Trudea, so we realize it's Centurion Blue Eyes, which again, I don't know if that's, I know it's being played, but I don't think he's all these other cards he's playing. But he normal summons the Trudea. I bounce it back with the Horn. And I think he activates Wishes. I decide to negate Wishes with the Flame. We got the loop going on. And I think he's just looking at his hand. Does he concede here? I think he concedes. He doesn't. But I end up Deer. Okay, yeah. Deer, before he passes turn, I go Secretarian, fuse, and he's like, yeah, that's enough right there by itself. And I was like, yeah, that's enough. So we go into that all-important game 3 where he gets to go first. I was right there. This is the first instance where Horn's in my hand the entire day. So there's 1. You won't get to see the rest. Go watch the Versus video, and you'll see it. I think it was 3 games Horn was in my hand. But we see he starts out, I have Fine Mama in my hand, or Famina, excuse me. I know people get mad when I mispronounce names, but I do it as a comedic thing. I think it's kind of crazy. People get upset about that. But Famina in hand. But if Horn was another Draco Tail name, I could fuse. But Horn is not. I can't fuse with Horn. And so he's just going to get to go full combo here. And then I'm going to see if we can get here to the bridge where he makes the double Spirit. Spirit tags out into Ancient Fairy. Ancient Fairy pops the Mausoleum. Or Fairy gets him stand-up Centurion. And then we get to see him do his Centurion combo here where he summons Trudea. Trudea goes back to summon Primea. Primea searches out Wake Up. Wake Up! And Wake Up ends up grabbing him a token, which he would just say, for the sake of the video, I was like, yeah, you get the token. If you're going to synchro it off right away, don't even worry about it. He goes ahead and makes his Auxilla, tags out the Spirit into... Oh, no. Major misplay. Oh, snap. Wow, okay. Well, that definitely changes things. So this is why I wanted to do this, because I didn't even catch this in the Versus video. So, wow. I didn't know that Spirit could just tag out into a Quasar. I don't think... Can Spirit tag out to a Quasar? I don't think Spirit can. But regardless, it'll be destroyed in the end phase. And we see the end phase. I didn't even catch that. So, there we go. Again, this is exactly why I wanted to do this. So, this is crazy. I can't believe I just let this go. I guess so again, I mean, like, I'm just looking at my hand. I was just kind of torn about my hand being like 0 interruptions. And I just kind of said, play, you know, go ahead, and didn't pay attention, you know, to what was going on. So, I mean, loss is mine, right? Loss is mine. It's both players' jobs to keep track of game state and keep a correct game state. And I fell short. But I tried Ket 2. He negates it with the illegal Quasar. I throw a Fuwa here as my draw for turn, actually. Kind of cool. So he's able to, when he starts synchroing off here into a Crimson, I get to draw a card. He goes Crimson to target. I get to draw 2 cards. Essentially, I'm just trying to get up into some more cards here. And something I think that was missed, that you guys didn't get to see because I just, like I said, I skipped past this. I'm not trying to dwell in this one a lot, is he flipped D-Barrier again. He hard opened a D-Barrier. Like, come on, man. Like, what can you do? But again, Draco Tail does have the ability. But then the crazy thing is this, the Sephirt's out, it's in the gate, and then the Quasar that shouldn't be there, but is there, comes back, and that's going to check the Malulu. So as you can see here, we just passed. He also has the Destined Rivals, so I just tossed my cards down. I was like, yep, wrap it up. That is it for game 1 at our local. So again, misplays happen. Wish I'd have caught that. That was definitely going to be game-changing. That definitely would have been very different, I think, in the sense of what we have going on here. But nothing can be said. Anyway, we'll just quickly move on here into game number 2. All right, just getting checked here. My buddy Ryan here on the Samurai, Team Samurai, or the 6 Samurai match, or Matt. We see a roll of 4. We see a roll of 8. So another Blue Eyes player, conveniently, will get to go first at our locals. And looking at the hand, we see Call By, Track. So I guess the Blue Eyes player lets him go first. Okay. Pitching of Lori. Lori will then get out, or yeah, there comes Lori. Lori goes into Requiem. We know that Requiem equipped. We get to see the make of Caesar. Not much can be said here. And that's an Art Mage card in the hand. And I think that's Art Mage that is Varnish, I think, in his hand. Yeah, I think that's Varnish. I have the Art Mage cards pulled up here on the side so I can like give you guys Varnish, which I think allows him to place the Art Mage, Hogwarts essentially. He's allowed to place Hogwarts from his deck. And then if he controls Hogwarts, but he pitches the Called by the Grave, very brave of him to do so, to search a name that he doesn't have. So search the Griflair. And I think all the Art Mage cards just allow you to special summon stuff as long as you control an Art Mage card on field. So he summons Griflair, he sets, and that card he sets is, I think, I'm trying to catch that one. That's Art Mage Assault. That's a continuous that provides protection. He kicks the camera, so I come over and fix it. I have a bye this round, so I wasn't active. I was off diddle-dalling, but we see the normal summon Medicius. Medicius summons out the Patron. Patron fuse into the Fusion, which is, I'm trying to think of its name, Dicaris, or Diactrys. And then we see the Power Patron trigger in the graveyard. Diactrys is a Omni-Negate, I believe. Well, you control 3 different types, which is kind of cool. This is the Art Mage deck is a deck like I want to pick up myself. I think that I really like, so you can tell what they're doing with the theme, right? It follows, which I have right here. I have Medicius right here. It follows Medicius, and they're going to go through all the different summoning mechanics. So we already have a Fusion, Doomsy's the XYZs, and we're going to probably get Synchro, Link, and I think that's it, right? Maybe a Ritual? I don't know. You know, we can get whatever, but that's what I wanted. I'm waiting for the Synchro aspect of it, because Medicius screams a 1-card Synchro. But I was very worried because the last Synchro storyline deck I was really interested in was Manadium, and I have a few check marks on decks that I like to play, and one of the check marks or boxes that have to be checked has to literally be you end on a boss monster of the name deck, and Manadium never got to do that. Manadium literally landed on every boss monster that wasn't its own. But we see a normal summon Lucaeus. I believe that gets ashed. We see a Pitch of Wishes to search out Roar, and he looked like he was searching for Effect Veiler, maybe? So this is, we can say this is Blue Eyes Draco Tail. But anyway, back to the Art Mage Deception. So I'm excited. I didn't want to pick up super high rarity Medicius because I felt if I picked up high rarity, the Synchro version would suck. So I decided to hold it out. The whole lore is super cool. If you guys don't know the lore, I'll quickly, since we're watching this turn play out here, I'll quickly give you guys a quick breakdown of it. The Art Mage cards, or the Power Patron cards, are essentially based on deities. Minerva, Juniper, which is like the Roman god of war. Or that's Mars. Never mind. I forget what Juniper is. But they're all based off of like deities, and that's how like they interact in the world of the Art Mage stuff. Is that they interact through the Power Patrons, and the Power Patrons allow us to or let the gods take form. You can search this up on YuGiOh Trivia or YuGiOhpedia and something like that. You can find it. But that's like some of the lore that I really like. But anyway, we see a fusion summon of Tyrant Dragon. Actually, pause real quick. This is an illegal activation of this card right here. So this is a big misplay on the part of both players. I think the Blue Eyes player thought since Caesar negates activation, he could use the Roar of the Blue Eyes, but Roar of the Blue Eyed Dragon says you can only use one effect per turn. It's not activate, so he should not be able to fuse for the Tyrant here, which is totally game-changing, and it's kind of, and hate to say it, but it does kind of take game one here away from the Archmage player. But again, as I've said in the very beginning, where I misplayed, where I didn't pay attention, is responsible for both. It's up to both players are responsible to keep track of correct game state, read your opponent's cards, but also for anyone who's going to come down the comment section and act like you haven't misplayed, you haven't been cheated by accident, you haven't misread or just let things happen. You're full of it. You've done it. You're not perfect. You have no high horse to be on. Sit back. But anyway, we see a Crackdown, which is interesting. Why in the world is this man playing Crackdown? Well, I mean, I guess arguably, if you're going for Crackdown's... I promise, guys, my locals is a little bit better than this. But Crackdown does steal, right? So we see this Tyrant Dragon whack over everything. And conveniently enough, chat actually caught it. And I was off pandering around, not even paying attention. And that was cool because I was like, I have the buy, so I can keep track of, you know, chat. I can make sure that there's legal game states going on here in this match. And I do not. I'm out just dilly-dallying, and chat catches it. And I checked chat, and I realized I was like, oh, I missed this. So then I decided to stay a little bit closer by, and we catch it later on. But we see Maiden get discard to get the True Light. True Light gets activated. We see the Majesty get activated, revealing, I think, one Blue Eyes. He moves his graveyard off the camera there, but I think there's just one Blue Eyes. Yeah, so we just see the... Just go right back to the Archmage turn. Couldn't do much after that. So we see Horn activate. So, you know, we see Normal Sword Lacrima, Horn activate to bounce it back. So Chainlink 1 Lacrima, Chainlink 2, the Horn. Bounces it back. He sends the Paradise. And Medicius is a crazy card. So yeah, you see him catching Medicius here. He gets to return the bounced back Lacrima to bring back Medicius. Medicius is able to summon out from the deck at the Power Patron. So like he's able to recur from this. It's just trying to figure out how to solve this, you know, this Tyrant Dragon. So we see the summon of I can't pronounce this card's name to save my life. Diacturus. Beautiful card. Awesome card, too. Like, I really enjoyed the way that Konami did Archmage. Like, it gives me World Chalice vibes, that the deck was, like, really designed really well, and that as long as Konami gives the deck... Actually, I take that back. Let me rephrase that. The deck's designed so well that if Konami botches all future support, the deck was still made decent enough that it can, like, at least compete on, like, a... you know, like a regional / locals level, and that's like, at the end of the day, that's what you want to see a deck have. You don't want to see a deck that the TCGs get a lot, like Ashen, who get a okay wave 1, that really need more waves to play, and then they just get botched, and then you have this really cool themed deck that's garbage. It's good to see a deck that gets a really solid wave 1 that allows them to compete, and that means that if everything else, if Konami butchers it, they're still like, okay. But we see this one, the summon of, I had her pulled up here, Litera. Get summoned. Litera allows you to... It's like a quick effect during the opponent's main phase. You can special summon one Archmage monster from your hand or graveyard, and then you return this card to the field. So it's like a monster born. That's pretty cool. This is why, like, this deck is on my list to pick up as well, just in case if they do end up butchering the synchro line of this deck, if that's what they end up doing. At least, like, you know, this deck, like, is ending on their giant boss monster of, like... Well, I mean, at least they're ending on potentially Diacturus. I can't pronounce that name to save my life. And then they also had the ability to fuse into Minerva on the opponent's turn, you know. So like, but we see the Femel get summoned here. We catch that the Medicius should be banished, and we see him looking through the grave, and True Light is destroyed. We see normal summon of Sage. Does the normal summon of Sage, he activates Femel, which Femel actually negates the effect of... You can negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls, and until the end of this turn, their attacks become half. That's a pretty crazy card, actually, guys. That's pretty wild. Finmel kind of be really good here. I'm actually, just so you guys, I'm going to move my screen over here so I can, instead of having to look away over here, I can like still look at you guys to tell you. We see Arthurion be summoned Ketu by Ketu, I believe. So we get to see quite a bit of things here. I think we see Chainlink 1, Arthurion, Chainlink 2, what's he doing? Lucius. Yeah, we see Chainlink 1, Arthurion, Chainlink 2, Pan, the set, and then we actually see kind of a misplay here. So actually we see him fuse, and this is a good catch here. So he's, you know, don't fast play, just read your cards, etc. So our Mage player was asking, you know, because I was standing by on this one, you know, he's like, so what's that one? He's like, this card's going to be able, Pan's going to be able to non-targeting destroy something. So that's why he was like, all right, so chain link 4, chain. But I don't understand. Oh, well, yeah, I understand now. Yeah, Arthurion, yeah, I keep forgetting. Arthurion has to declare targets. So he clearly declared his targets, fused them all away, and then Power Patron activated, and then Minerva changes the Power Patron's effect to Regeki. Yeah, there we go. Just so you guys are aware, Pan would attempt to destroy a face-up monster non-targeting, but Minerva cannot be destroyed while there's like a field spell in the field spell zone, which I think is, I'm reading it right now. Yep, while a card is in the field zone, this card cannot be destroyed by card effects. Yeah, look at the card's artwork, man. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Minerva. It is such a very crazy cool card. And this is True Light. Also pretty cool that Maiden can grab back from graveyard, so it allows you to always get it back. Right here, we'll just keep on flying through here. So we see Wishes, Pitch Mausoleum. We see Roar, the Blue-Eyed Dragon. We see the ability of this. So I catch this one here. Roar, the Blue-Eyed Dragon, Maiden, trigger. You see right here. Oh, I caught it. I was there, chat. I was there this time. I did not fail. I was watching. I was like, wait, you can't do it. It's a use effect. So I think we just see a link into, okay, link into Spirit. Spirit to bring back out a Blue Eyes. Okay. Kind of crazy, actually, that this card is 3,300 Minerva. But we see a Indigo Eye. This card's like a walking skill drain, I believe. I think that's that dragon. Indigo Eyes? But I think it's like 4,000. Just gonna check it out real quick, try and get to it before they fade away with it. Blue Eyes Indigo Dragon. 2 level 8 monsters can attack. It's 4,000, yeah, so he's able to whack over Minerva. But I think Minerva has like a graveyard effect, if I remember right. I think it does. But anyway, we see a wrap it up here. This right here, so we'll quickly fly through this here. We see Archmage starting again, pitching the Fiendsmith Engraver to search track. While this is played on, we're just going to see it can activate defense position, retributing. Once per turn this way, this card it cannot be destroyed once per turn. It does not have a graveyard effect. Kind of crazy. A card that's based off of a god does not have a graveyard effect, but I guess gods aren't supposed to die. But we see the fusion summon of Arthurion here. Find Mama, Pan. We see Lori. Pan's gonna, well, yeah, essentially the Pan's gonna set the card there. Arthurion target 2. The Pan destroy. We're gonna see talents to draw 2. It looks like we see there can be only 1 in there. Okay, pretty wild. We get to see the Archmage card. I forget which one that is. The Assault to get activated to search. I think that search is Medicius, Medicius. Yeah, when this card is activated, you can have 1 Medicius to pure from your deck to your hand. There we go. Okay, yeah, so he gets to add that. He gets to make the Dactyros, search out the Art Magica, Hogwarts, essentially. So he's going to call Ron, Hermione, the whole gang. Pitching the Trap card. I think that's Archmage Pact, I believe. Yeah, Awakening. That card's actually pretty cool. It's a really cool one of Trap. Like you love to see traps in a deck that's like has its utility. You know what I mean? Where it all works very good together. I've seen so many decks where Konami gives them a trap that does not work with the deck. Archmage is going to get to go through his full turn. Graflair to search out the Finmill while also getting the Latera on the field so it can bring back the Power Patron, I'm sure. And then Fuse for the Minerva on his turn. Graflair to destroy. I didn't realize Graflair destroyed. I thought Graflair if your opponent goes, yeah, target one surveillance trap destroyed. Dang, Graflair. And then it's a quick effect if you control 3 of different attributes. So right now he's literally, this inboard is actually pretty decent. We see Omni Negate with the Dictaros, a Spell and Trap Negate, a Spell and Trap Destruction with Graflair, the ability to bounce back for a Fusion Summon, and then a Skill Drain half attack for currently everything on the field. Along with, we did see there can be only 1 in his hand too. So this is kind of loaded. I don't understand a world where the Archmage player will lose this game. We see Rahu. We see a flip of there can be only 1. So he can only control 1 type. So that means he has to be able to, so he can't summon a dragon. He has to summon Gulamel, which is okay. And then Gulamel then actually Gulamel can kind of solve immediately. But then the Femel will check the Gulamel. But he just sends, yeah, he outs it regardless. Huh. Oh no, actually, so he summons another Pan. Okay, so actually, this is going to be pretty crazy. So Chainlink 1, Urgula, probably Chainlink 2 Pan. And we'll see Imperm on Gulamel, which he doesn't have to do. I don't know if he knew that he had to. He could have literally... yeah, maybe he didn't understand what was going on. So, yeah, that was probably a big misplay on the Art Mage. There we go. Well, I guess I said earlier, remember, I said I didn't see a world where this Art Mage player will lose. But when misplays happen like that, they can. So Dictactoros floats. Okay, Dictactoros floats. That's actually pretty cool. That you can special one Medusa. That's pretty wild. Good. That's awesome. I really like this deck. So now he has a quick effect to fuse, but he still has a Graflare, a Finmill. Can Finmill, or not Finmill, Latera summon back the Dictactoros? Diactoros? I cannot pronounce that. So if you guys are gonna roast me. There's not much more I can do. I'm trying my best to pronounce this. Cards, you see, during your opponent's main phase, quick effect, you special one Art Mage monster from your hand or graveyard, except. Yeah, so I can bring back that. So, like, he could just bring back the Omni-Negate. That's pretty sweet. Let's see here. Graflare. Yeah, Graflare was able to destroy, I believe. I'm just going to back it up here because yeah, he destroys the True Light. True Light gets rid of everything. Yep. Horn to target attack position. He couldn't have, he goes Chainlink 1. Chainlink 2. So Chainlinks are out of order here, kind of, in a way. And I'm not able to catch it at the moment. But I think he's preventing, he goes activate Horn. And it says that's not how that would work. The Gulamel and the Arthurion would trigger because two monsters were sent at the same time. I think that was a major misplay here. But again, locals. Gotta love locals. We'll just kind of fly through it here. We see, I think we just wrap it up here. I think that's it. Yep. So that was it for game number 2 at locals. We'll just move on into the final game of the night. All right, so again, Yummy versus Blue Eyes. Yet again, Blue Eyes Draco Tail, I should say. I eventually go and correct the camera. I was pretty much on the, I was on the ball, guys. I was able to make sure at least the camera was in frame as long as no one hit it. And I got all the Yummy cards pulled up here, so I'm not mispronouncing names. So we'll go ahead and go here. We see, I think, Ghost Bell, Ash. So we get to see Sky Striker Mobilize Engage, activate to get the Hornet drones, the horny drones. Activate the horny drones, link off into Kagari. Kagari to probably add back the Hornet drones, right? Yeah, and then Hornet drones into another one. He'll link 2 into, or to Synchro, excuse me, I'm sorry. Synchro into, so I eventually show up, I'm able to catch and fix it. So we see a Synchro into, which one is that? I think that's catching it. Cupsy, okay. Synchro summon to Cupsy. And then we see a Chainlink 1 Famina, so the Chainlinks will resolve. Famina will fusion summon, and then Cupsy will get to add, discard 1. So he goes Chainlink Arthurion, target the, I assume what's he targeting? Target Famina, to add, so he gets to add back 2. So I assume he's targeting the 2, and then Mululu will negate. He doesn't chain the Cupsy here. It looks like he discarded. I'm not too familiar with these names off the top of my head, so we gotta bear with me. I'm trying to have him pulled up here. He looks like he discarded Cupsy. So he discarded Cupsy. And the Cupsy Yummy way. So he's able to link 1, get a field spell. What are your guys' opinions on Yummy? I think that Yummy, I don't think Yummy's that unfair, actually, to be honest with you. I think they have I have like a generic weakness, which is like sometimes if you remove the first body, it's over. You know what I mean? Like if you remove the normal summon, you can't do it, which is why they're playing like the Sky Striker stuff, is so they can establish their engine. But we see a Synchro summon into, this one is Lollipo, Yummy Way. Bring out the Cupsy, bring out both Cupsies, right? Yeah, those both are Cupsies. We see going to Martial Metal Marcher to bring back level 1. A normal summon of Lollipo, which is what I think that's what that one is. Yep, Lollipo. Synchro into Herald. So pretty crazy in board, actually. Herald being able to, like, especially with droplets being played back in the game again. A lot of people are playing droplets, and Herald just kind of checks droplets in a way, right? So like it makes it to where you can't discard a monster, so then like Herald will always just be able to negate the droplets. So I think we finally see, I don't even know that, no, maybe that was the normal summon. That might have been the normal summon of Cookie. And then we see a link 1. Okay, a link 1 into the Yummy Snatch. And Yummy Snatch. Synchro off into another Yummy. Bounces back. Then we see a special summon of Cupsy. Into... I'm not familiar with that card. I can't quite catch and see what the name of that card is. But it's a Link 2, I think. And we just... I guess we see Ash Bell in hand pass on this. I mean, this is good enough, actually. This is pretty crazy, to be honest with you. Yummy dominance right here. These goofy little cats. We see Rahu get activated. Flipping up the Rahu. So he's just explaining, I think, what this Link 2 does. So we're going to see Pan. Pan. Or no, he's just going to see Lucaeus. Alright. And sending Malulu. And so I guess someone was saying in the chat that you cannot Rahu, but you can Rahu because Rahu doesn't send for cost. So he's able to still activate Rahu, is what I was explained. He just does not get the effects of Malulu or the card you use from hand because they get your banished instead. So Arthurion gets the attempt to bounce, I think. So yeah, they shouldn't be. Yeah. So here's what I remember this from chat because I was playing down the table. He shouldn't be able to set these two cards because I think that the Draco Tail cards have to be sent to the graveyard. And I play Draco Tail, and I'm pretty sure that it is. They have to be sent to the grave. Let's see here. Which, I mean, it is what it is. But anyway, we're going to see the Cupsy kind of... I think we just see like a steamroll here of the Yummy cards. These guys are all boosted, so he's like battle phase. He attempts to go Horn. Yep, and let's wrap it up for game 1 here. We'll go on in here into game number 2 with Yummy. We see Obedient School get activated. This card's insane, man. E-Telly for 3? What? It's just wild. We see, which is crazy, because we see Effect Trailer trying to get dropped in the Snatchy, Chain Snatchy, Quick Effect Synchro into, I think that's Cupsy effect on summon to place or add, and then we get to see Cupsy and Lollipop get added to hand. He's gonna discard Engage, special summon out the Cupsy, grab Surprise. It's the worst surprise. Yummy Surprise, the surprise you never want to see. It's kind of like, I don't know, coal in a sock in Christmas. Or underwear in a sock when you're a kid, or underwear when you're a kid. You open up your present and it's like, surprise, Merry Christmas, and it's underwear, and you're like, as a kid, you're like, I wanted toys. But now it's kind of like you beg for underwear, you beg for socks. Crazy how adulthood changes you, right? But anyway, the Yummy player is just comboing off. He's going to shuffle back the Effect Veiler from the graveyard. We see a Synchro. I think he was getting ready to go Synchro summon here. We see into the Hamster. The Hamster's pretty cool, actually. I've not seen a lot of people make the Hamster. Just thinking he gets to go first. He looks like his Double Judgment Ogre. Okay. Wow. I think, you know what, man? I think my boy Zach here, I played against him last week and he saw Double Judgment or something like that too. I think the man is stacking that Judgment. That's insane. Or maybe it's just like, since Solemn's supposed to be God, man has Anime and God on his side. Or excuse me, Goofy Cats and God on his side. So, but Dark Ruler gets met with Judgment. Normal summon Lucaeus. We see the Surprise activate going into Herald. Bounce back to Lucaeus. Oh, no. I guess he thought Lucaeus was getting bounced back, but I guess it doesn't. And then we're just, asking what cards do what. Fine Mama gets pitched to attempt to fuse, but I don't think he can. Oh, he can. Yep, he can, but it gets banished because of Herald. Chaining the Cupsy to tag out. We see a summon of Snatchy and Cookie. Arthurion comes out. Arthurion will be Chainlink 1, I assume. Chainlink 2 will be Lucaeus. He's used 1 from hand, so he'll be able to target and bounce. But whatever he targets and bounces, I think you have to go after Herald here, right? You go Chainlink 1 Arthurion, Chainlink 2 Lucaeus. Target the Herald. And then we see... Just clarification. Like I said, I conveniently was playing in this match, so I didn't get to see, I didn't get to hear everything. So we see a setting of Ket 2 off of Lucaeus that was fusioned. The add back of Lucaeus. So he didn't bounce back the Herald. He decided to bounce back Lucaeus. That's interesting. I don't know why you would... Herald just is really, really soloing the Draco Tail's ability to have a grind game. I would have targeted that. So we see a quick effect Synchro from Snatchy to go ahead and go into a Cupsy. Yeah, Cupsy. Quick effect tag out back into a Snatchy into a Lollipop. Lollipop will get an effect. Of course, Arthurion gets the chain here because Gets to come back because 2 monsters went to the graveyard at the same time. He gets to add 2, discard 1, I believe, but he gets banished because of Herald, you know. I just don't see a way that the Draco Tail player gets around this. Herald just is such a hard counter to this deck, and this is his, like, I think this is the Draco Tail player's turn. He's literally just synchro summoning, and he's booking and destroying, so like he destroys the set Ket 2, which is huge, especially in like a weakened hand. Like you need Ket 2 when it gets set, like you definitely need Ket 2. But a setting of our Therion, we see a concede, and that will be it. So, in the locals, we see our Yummy player end up taking the entire locals here. First place, Yummy busted. And yeah, though there was a lot of misplays, guys. I mean, we are human. Do keep that in mind. I'm really kind of crazy. I'm still standing with my, like, my misplay in my turn. But it does happen. Always remember it's up to both players to keep it, and since it falls on both players' fault, so... Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoy this type of content, comment down below. If you guys want, tell me what I could do different. If you guys want, if you enjoy this, something I can do to improve this, because I do enjoy going over the unique decks that we have here, since especially, you know, earlier in the channel's days, that's all we did was feature matches and stuff like that. So, yeah. Anyway, stay safe, stay healthy. Charles from Team COG, signing out.